Once upon a time, two retired teachers decided to convert their garage into a pottery studio. Along with their daughter and son, they built a business around the idea that the world could use a little more art and a lot more artists. We're the Kaya family. Welcome to Wocky Pots. Hi everybody, how you doing? How you been? How are things? Shane and Diana here, broadcasting live in front of a recorded audience at Wocky Pot Studio for coffee time number 19.
Wow, 19 of these.
I know, it's like almost 20.
Wow. And you know, it's April 7th.
Yep.
And that means it is National Coffee Cake Day.
Coffee Cake Day.
Yes.
So you brought in a piece of coffee cake
I
to
did.
celebrate. Yep. Fantastic. That's enjoy your coffee cake. Tomorrow will be National Diabetes Awareness Day.
Yes, but it is good.
Anyway, enjoy your coffee cake. So lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff happening as usual. Last week was pretty busy. What are we going to talk about in this week's episode of Coffee Time, Diana?
Well, probably we should talk about the fact that you're in my space.
Yeah, it's weird over on this side of the table. It's like a totally different zip code. I'm over here on your side of the table.
Yes.
Because of all the gigantic stuff that's taken up all the space on the right
really
side
is.
of the table. And I guess we could sort of start with what that is
Sure.
and why it's here. So
I'll eat.
I'm making a couple of larger moche pots. This is a moche pot in front of me. It's the first one I made, and it's honestly not very good, but it's the only one that I have. And what you see over on this side of the table are two not yet assembled moche pots. So on this side over here, these two pieces are going to go together. This is the top, and it's going to raise up, flip around, and set on the bottom. I got clay on my hand from hitting the rim. And then these two pieces are another separate moche pot, and the same thing's going to happen. They're going to flip around and stack up this tall. And then what's going to happen is I will make the tubes. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to extrude these or if I'm going to coil build them. The tubes will then go on top, and it will look like this, only considerably taller than what I've done before. So I'm making these especially for a clay event that's going to be happening this summer at the Worcester County Arts Center, and that's going to be in Ocean City.
Yes.
And the event is Clayapalooza, and these guys will be finished, and these are going to be my pedestal pieces if they make it. And they might not, because this is kind of a test for us. This seems like a good way for me to do this, but these are very large pieces. Each half of this one is 10 pounds each. So this whole pot is going to be 20 pounds when it's done. This was 8 pounds and that was 6 pounds. So this is going to be a little bit smaller, but it was quite a task spinning these out on the wheel yesterday.
Yeah,
so
you really shocked me because I was over here hand building some mugs, and I looked up and I saw in your mirror, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at the size of that.
I don't know. Maybe this should be a cup. I could put one handle right here, and maybe this guy should be a cup.
You know, and you had said you were making tableware this week.
I didn't
That's
actually.
not tableware.
I didn't actually make tableware.
That's okay. We go with the flow, don't we?
That's right. We do what we can do. So anyway, that's what I was making this past week.
Yeah.
How about you, Diana? Talk about some of the things you made.
Sure. Well, I was making these mugs. In fact, when you were making those.
Wow, that's a huge mug. That's big.
This is part of you're so funny. This is part of our our seaside collection, and it has a pretty sea star on it, and I've got little divots in the sea star and all, and it's really cute, and I bulged out the sides to give it a nice shape.
That shape.
I like that shape, and it's when you make a hand-built mug, sometimes you don't think you can get that roundness, but you can. It just takes a little bit more time. I also made some soap holders because our friends at Hansen Craftory, they want to get some soap holders from us, and because they make handmade soaps. And
yeah, in fact, they gave us a bar of soap for our display. So we'll definitely show you a picture of that. But they gave us a bar of soap to put on our soap holder for display.
Yeah.
at our last setup, and it was
Yeah.
really great. We'll talk about
That's
that again
nice.
in a minute.
Yes. And then of course I made some sandwich plates. Oh, I've got jellyfish
Oh, right,
wind chimes, but they're not over here because they're a little bit too fragile to be
small and
over
fragile.
here right now with all this stuff. But you'll put a picture of
Right,
them.
I'll show you a
I've
picture
got
of the.
two different
I'll
styles.
show you a picture of the
Yeah.
jellyfish wind chimes.
And I did do another raku piece.
Do not. Do
I'm
not.
not gonna I'm not gonna pick it up, but I did do another raku piece, and this is a hand built raku piece because we wanted to see
Mm-hmm.
how the hand built work comes out in the raku kiln. This is a tall vase, and it's a wave vase,
Yeah, I love the
so
shape of that too. I can't
I
wait to
think
see how
that
it
would
works.
actually look quite nice with the horsehair on it, and be kind of nice because
Mm-hmm.
the horses and acetique, and
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, so I will say probably my favorite thing this week is this little guy right here.
That
So
that's a cute little
cute.
vase.
Judy came to pick up all of the mugs from the field trip that had been and made mugs with us. And she said, "Have you ever seen mommy vases?" And I was like, "Mommy vases? No." And so then she starts describing to me. She said, "It's just a tiny little vase." She said, "For when the kids pick the dandelions or the buttercups or the forget me nots." She said, "So that you can actually have something to put them
A
in,
little display for
a
them.
little display." And so, oh my gosh, I picked those flowers this morning, right?
It's very pretty.
It is so cute. And this coming week, I want to make a whole pile of those. That one actually is my third attempt.
It's tough to make things small when you're not used to making them
Well,
small.
the first one was a total didn't happen at all. The second one was beautiful.
And then
I dropped it
sudden gust of gravity.
in the floor when I went to go move it. So I was like, all right, just one more time. If this one doesn't work out, I'm done for the day.
Yep, but it did work out.
Because it was the end of the day, and I thought maybe I'm just too tired, but it did work out. And so I want to make a whole pile of those. I just think they're so cute.
Yeah, and we'll just have them for sale on our
Yeah.
tables. Small little things that people can just pick up.
Yeah, so we've had lots of things we've been making. I was making a little like wave sculpture, and that's going to
Mm-hmm.
have some little fish on wires
Right.
that stand up above it. So just a small little
That'd
piece
be
for
cool.
something different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always trying something.
Yep.
But we made quite a bit of things. We added it to our chart up there.
Yep, we made some things, and we had other things going on besides that too.
Yes, because I don't know. I think maybe it was Tuesday evening or something. Michael sent a message that he was bringing over.
That's right.
The new resin printer.
We have a new addition to the studio. We have a resin printer, 3D printer, and we're going to be using that to make some pottery tools and to make some things that we're going to be using here in the studio, like texture rollers and stuff like that. I'm going to be spending the next couple of days kind of figuring out, how that works. You're going to sit there and eat that cake right in front of me. Okay, you go ahead and eat it.
Would you like a piece?
No, thank you. But we're going to spend a couple days learning that resin printer and then getting that to work. I did get the resin in, and we have picked out some things that we're going to print. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So thank you very much, Michael. I really appreciate that. And I will definitely let you know how it turns out. What else happened this week?
Well, we had our art class this week, which focused on balance, and we did a pointillism project.
Right, pointillism, tap, 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 tap. It was so much fun. It was great.
It really was. And that reminds me, I don't know if you all have noticed, but our cups are not sitting on little foam pieces to keep them quiet.
We have these really awesome pot holders. Artemis, one of our students, made these, and they are so fantastic. This one, I love it that Diana sold me because it looks like the Maryland flag. But Artemis made these, and we're using these to park our mugs on so they don't make this loud clanky noise every time we put our cups down.
So that's from now on.
These are our mug rugs.
Our official
Thank you, Artemis.
Coffee time mug holder.
Yep,
rugs,
the official
mug rugs.
Mug rugs. Yep.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Artemis. Yep.
So nice. And then, we ordered our clothes.
Oh yeah. So at the end of the month, we have that historical reenactment
Yes,
event,
SCA.
right? The Society for Creative Anachronism,
Mm-hmm.
and we are going as Norse tradespeople. So we're going to be dressing up like Vikings.
Yes.
And I don't know exactly how it's going to look, but we've ordered our outfits, and we will
Our
definitely
garb.
let you know
Yes.
how it
Maybe
works
we'll take a picture and show that
if they
next
come up.
time.
Yeah,
Yes. I think they might come in
if
this
they
week.
arrive, right?
Yes, if they arrive. And I know we could have borrowed them this time, but we do have a couple of Renaissance fairs
Right.
that are interested in us coming to set up for them this
Yeah,
year.
so
And
I don't
so we
mind investing
thought,
a little bit in clothing. I
well,
know we should be making them, but I
yeah,
remember that's actually hard work. We used to make our own costumes for going to Renaissance festivals way back a million years ago, before the discovery of electricity and all that stuff. Um, so it was a fun process, but it's not one that we really have the time for now. So we bought our outfits, and I think it's going to be really great.
you got a hat, of course.
Of course, I got a
Got a
hat.
hat.
Now,
Had to.
I don't know if I'm going to like the hat, but we'll see.
Yeah, but I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be great. Looking forward to that. And then also, oh yes, Bev came and picked up her mug, and you're gonna take
Yes, I'll show the
yeah,
picture.
okay,
Bev was in one of our classes, or mug building classes,
yes,
and she made a fantastic hand built mug.
wonderful, wonderful hand built mug. Made in the style that I drink
I'll show
from.
a picture.
But she sent this lovely message and a picture of her mug with coffee in it. But this summed it up so perfectly about why drinking out of a handmade mug is so great. It's just something about drinking from a cup you made yourself. Rustic, earthy, genuine, and accomplished.
Yeah, that's a
I,
great quote.
so I just had to share what Bev sent to us because I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's
She
how I feel
Yep,
when I
she
drink
gets it.
from mine.
Hmm.
She made her own and she has that same feeling and
Yep,
it's just wonderful. So I'm glad we get to share our love of pottery with other people and it makes a difference for them too.
absolutely.
So that was wonderful. We did a bisque load last week.
Right. So the kiln is loaded right now
Yeah,
with the raku pieces that we're going to be firing in the raku
yeah,
kiln probably later this week.
yeah.
And some of those will be the horsehair pots that will be
Mm-hmm.
going to the osprey nest for the heritage line, the Descendants of Misty's
Right.
heritage line of pottery. That's going to be really great. Really looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
And we had our first show of the season.
Right. Our
Well,
first
no,
actual full setup.
actual full setup. We've been once before, so it's our second show of the season. But this time it was us with all of our tables and our canopy and
Mm-hmm.
lots and lots and lots and lots of pottery.
Right. So three
Great.
tables of pottery, two big tables and one small card table filled with our works, and the crowd was actually very good for it being very cold and potentially rainy. It actually
Mm-hmm.
started to rain at the end. There were a lot of people there, and we made some pretty good sales. We exceeded our expectations, and
We
it
did.
was a great success for our first full, actual, real 100% setup. I'm very pleased with how it went.
Yeah, so it was a great time. And then, of course, it did begin to rain,
Mm-hmm.
and James came.
Right. So James from Hansen's Craftory
Yeah.
came and helped us frantically get packed up and get our stuff to the truck. Shout out to James and to Hansen's Craftery. You're going to be seeing some of their candles and soaps being displayed in our pottery, and I think it's going to be a fantastic kind of a collaboration thing going on with
Mm-hmm.
them. Those people are absolutely fantastic, and if you get a chance, you must check them out. I'll put a link in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Hansen's Craftery,
Yeah.
and
And
James was such a big help. He
yes.
got everything all packed up with us and helped us with our huge canopy tent and when it was starting to rain, and just great people. Thank you very much, James.
Yeah. And they do candle workshops there too.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
Maybe we'll go to a
Yes.
candle
Oh,
workshop
that would be
sometime. That'd
fun.
be great.
I think that would be great too. Well, while we were at First Friday, we actually had the same question asked of us then that your sister Audrey
We had a
asked
couple
of
of
us.
questions. One question seemed like a recurring theme was somebody, several people walked under the tent and looked at the stuff we were made, and then they looked at us and they said, "Did you make this?" Yep. Yes, we did. Yes, we did make it.
I'm
And
really
then
not sure what they think.
I don't know whether it's maybe I don't really know, but it's a pleasure to talk about people and to kind of inform
Mm-hmm.
them and to give them, kind of a mini uh, lesson on how we do our pottery. But the question came up, how long does it take to make a mug? And I know we've touched on this before,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of wanted us to go into detail. My sister Audrey had asked, how long does it take to make a cup? And if you ask us for, a huge, like if you're asking for the broad view of that is it takes about a month from the time we start making a mug until the time
Mm-hmm.
you can drink out of it. And a lot of that time is just waiting for the stuff to either dry or heat up in the kiln or cool down
Right.
from the kiln or whatever. But Diana actually figured out pretty much exactly how long it takes to make a hand built cup. And
Yes.
what did you find out?
And whether it's a hand built, but we also discovered that even the wheel thrown ones, you generally have about an hour with your hands on the mug in the making
Right, your
process.
hands actually on the clay is
Hands
about an
on the
hour.
clay. And that's not necessarily like if you're on the wheel, it's not you, it takes you an hour to throw it. But the thing is, it then has to be trimmed. A handle has to be pulled. The handle has to be attached.
There's still
So
a process.
there's lots of steps and waiting for that. Whereas when I do my hand built mug, the handle goes on at the same time, but I'm putting all of the pieces together, and it still takes an hour. Um, when we do a class, I allow an hour and a half, and it generally takes folks an hour and a half. I've done enough of them now that I'm down to about an hour
Mm-hmm.
for a mug. But then the next time that we have our hands on the mug is when we glaze the mug.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how you're glazing, okay, if you're going to dip glaze, you're talking 5 minutes. Dip glazing is fast, and it definitely has its advantage if you have a large order.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing a one of a kind piece, um, and you just need a few glazes put on, you're talking 20 minutes. Now, the crab mug that I did, that
Right.
was a good hour because that was a painting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'd say about an hour and 20 minutes now would be hands are on the mug doing something in the making process of getting that mug
Between the
ready.
building it and the glazing it, about an
Yes.
hour and 20
Yes.
minutes.
So I hope that
Hands on.
helps.
Yep.
Yes. Um, well, let's go ahead and talk about this week because time just keeps right on rolling.
Yeah, it's funny how it does that.
It
Yeah.
does, and I have to say, we enjoy so much what we do in here that I don't know, I think maybe I put it on Facebook or something. I saw some sort of saying this week, and it was about loving what you do or whatever, and I said, yeah, we play every day.
It is a lot of fun.
It is. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And, we came out and worked yesterday and we were out here the entire day. We missed lunch,
Mhm.
totally forgot that we were supposed to eat, which isn't a bad
Right.
thing.
Well, you get caught up in the things
Yeah.
you're making, and it's just so much fun, and you don't want to just walk away
Yeah.
from it.
But it
Time
was,
flies.
so um, I do know that we've put into our schedule now that we have 2 days off each week now. One day was nice. And what we have discovered is that, especially going and setting up at events, really takes a lot out of us,
It's physically exhausting to pack everything up and
as well as mentally,
right.
because of all the conversations and things like that that are happening and going on. But the 2 days, and we did do 2 days last week. Now, there were little partial things that, oh, we went and did this or whatever that was for the business. Um, but we're definitely going to do 2 days, and I think that'll give us the time that we need to actually take care of our house and our yard
Right, do a lot of the normal not
Right.
pottery studio stuff that we
Yeah.
gotta do. Right?
So we are doing that now.
Mhm.
2 days off. Wow.
Yep.
That'd be a change.
Yep.
So I do have to run over this week to Caprico's Books and to the Golden Clover.
Refresh our stock.
Yes,
in those
they need
places.
more pottery in those places. And oh, this is our very last homeschool art class for the series that we just did.
Right, so this is session number 6 of our 6-session homeschool art class on the principles of art. And this week we're going to be talking about unity, and then that's going to be it. If we're lucky, the weather will be nice and we'll be doing our lesson outside. I'm hoping it's going to be warm enough for that. And I'm going to miss these kids a lot, but we're going to be seeing most of them again for our clay classes. We're going to do some homeschool clay classes just for those guys, and we'll be able to see most of them again. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, so that'll be nice. We do have 1 week off between the ending of this class and the beginning of that one. And then we are going to be doing another raku fire.
Right, so this time,
this time
be very
no
aware
flames going
right, no dangerous buildup of propane, which is what happened the last time. But we're going to do that, and we'll get some pieces ready for our setup that we have at the Osprey Nest. And I don't know how many of those, but we also have some pieces that are not for that. We have some pieces that are just kind of whimsical, fun, pottery pieces. And that's going to be great. You and Carolyn did those cats. I can't wait to see those.
Yeah, and we're going to try Addie's fur on them, I think. So we'll see how that does. And then also we have all the pieces that need to be glazed. So this week we're going to make quite a bit of things, hopefully. I'm really in the making mood, but we have to be in a glazing mood.
If we don't get stuff glazed, we're not going to have enough stuff to sell. We sold more than we thought we would at First Friday a couple days ago, and in order to keep up with everything, we're going to have to make sure we're glazing as quickly as we can. All of this stuff over your shoulder there has to be glazed this week.
Yes, and one of the things I noticed on the table, well, I noticed the absence of it on the table. We have very few bowls.
Right, and we have a lot of bowls to glaze. Some of them are yarn bowls, and there's several that are, just little like ice cream bowl.
Yeah, so I'm intending on making quite a few bowls this week, as well as, I want to do 10 mommy vases. I really do. I just think they are so precious.
That would be a good candidate for throwing off the hump. That's where you put, a whole bunch of clay on the wheel, and then you just keep repeatedly pulling small things off of them. I think that might be worth trying.
Well, you're going to have to teach me how to do that, because that's not something I've done, but...
We can figure it out.
Yeah.
I've done it before, so...
You have, but I haven't, so you're going to have to teach me. But my wheel throwing's coming along, that's for sure.
You're doing great.
Even though I prefer hand building, there's certainly a time that when I need to, I can wheel throw.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
But tomorrow's the eclipse.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Christopher has been busy making viewing theaters out of cardboard boxes for us to get a good glimpse.
He's up to number 4 now.
He's perfecting his design. So we're going to be using those viewing theaters. Basically, we're going to be looking inside of a box that has like a pinhole camera set up, and we'll be able to view the eclipse safely without using eclipse glasses. Now, we did go to the eclipse the full eclipse that happened back in 2017.
Yeah, we did.
And it was great. We made our little road trip, and we all got to see totality out in this little tiny town in North Carolina, and it was a lot of fun. We're not going to achieve totality here. I haven't looked it up yet, but I think we're only going to get about 80% occlusion of the sun, and I think that means we're not going to get it's not going to get fully dark. But that's good, because with all the news and stuff about people expecting the end of the world and all that stuff, I'm thinking tomorrow we're only going to get 80% of the apocalypse here at Wocky Pot Studios. So that's a thing to look forward to. 80% apocalypse. What? That's a good thing, right? I mean,
Okay.
all right. Anyway, that's what we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow's our day off. quote unquote, and
Yes.
we're going to be celebrating our partial apocalypse. I mean the eclipse tomorrow.
But then again, if the weather's nice, we might do a raku firing just because it's fun.
We might be doing a raccoon firing also, just because, well, the pottery will be there, and it is, if it's not too windy, it'll be a great day.
Because I would have loved to have done it today, but it's just way too windy.
Oh man, what if we made a video of a raccoon firing during the eclipse when it was like dark and stuff? We're not actually going to do that, but that would be fun.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, so.
Oh man, limited edition apocalypse pottery. I can see it now. Limited edition. How many pieces of pottery do you know of that were actually fired during the eclipse?
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
Yes.
All right, we're not actually going to do that.
Yes.
So what else do we have coming up?
I think that's it for what we have coming up.
I'm going to finish these pots. In fact, I'm probably going to work on these today. I don't know that they're going to be finished by next Sunday, but that's the goal. The goal is by the next time you guys see these next Sunday, they will be completed in this shape, but they won't be glazed. They'll be drying slowly because they got to dry real slow because they're huge, and then maybe they'll be assembled and you can kind of see my vision with me. These aren't the only ones I'm going to make. I'm probably going to be making several of these because I don't anticipate everyone making them. In fact, my first ones here, there's a pretty high possibility they're not going to make it at all. But that's okay. I know how to reclaim the clay, and we'll just chuck this stuff in a bucket and try again some other time. All right? What else? So you're going to finish your coffee cake today. I know.
That's what I'm going to do today.
What else do we have going on? Anything else that we need to talk about?
No, nothing else we need to talk about. Earlier today I made a jellyfish bowl.
Oh, right. I'll show you some pictures of the bowl.
That's what I'm going to be doing after this. Is I'm going to go back, and because I smooshed it all up. And,
right, that's already ready to be reclaimed.
Re-wedged and stuff because, but it did the trick because that's the thing that when you're coming up with a new design, it takes quite a few
You don't expect your first ones to be perfect.
No.
So I'll show you a picture of her jellyfish bowl that she made, and she'll be making some more refinements to her design, and you'll see those definitely by next coffee time.
Yes, hopefully they'll be sitting on the table next coffee time. Then we'll see, maybe there'll be things other than jellyfish. However, I think jellyfish will be cute in a bowl.
Yep.
So I'm just still, the one I did, it has the jellyfish on the outside, but part of me thinks, wouldn't it be cute to have the jellyfish on the inside of the bowl? Like, especially like if it was a soup bowl, it would be like the jellyfish is in the soup.
That would be cool looking for sure.
Yeah,
what else? Do we have anything else?
No, nothing else. I'm going to finish my
You finish your coffee cake. I got a couple sips of my coffee left. And then I'm going to get busy making these great big huge things today, and maybe inventing some new curse words. We'll find out. I'll let you know. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here at Wocky Pots. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, if we get to 300 subscribers, we are going to start doing how-to videos on the regular. And we're climbing. We're at 180
now. It's so exciting.
So we're getting there. When we get to 300, we'll start regular how-to videos and all that jazz. So do like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified of new content and all that jazz. Please do spread the word. And I need you very much to check out the people that we've mentioned in our video, because they are super duper helpful, and we appreciate every bit of assistance everybody gives us. So are we all done?
We are all done.
Okay, let's go ahead and sign it out. Toodaloo, everybody. Ta-ta. Have a great day, no matter where you're at. Bye.
Bye, guys.